Alright, so now we're going to go to the individual pairs, and the first pair we're going to look at, as always, is the dollar yen. And as I have mentioned to you, we have in the yen initially a major sell signal, and I showed you in the dollar index that the dollar has been trying to go above the 75.94 from the beginning of this year, and it has been trying 4 or 5 times, and you can see that translated now at the 8112 number, which is the structure point. That is the 8112, and you can see that most of last week we have been grinding our way up to trade above the 8112. We broke above the 8112, and then we sold off, and this is what happened on Friday. Is this a buy signal or a sell signal? Is this a buy signal, guys, or a sell signal? Anyway, it is a buy signal. It is a buy signal, and primarily is because we're not getting the follow through to the downside. So now, closing at 80.93 or 80.94 after getting just 10 pips from the structure point, that is quite a positive sign. In particular, when I have a confirmation that, or I have a sell signal on the yen index, so that is also a second confirmation. So this here I have a very easy no-brainer trade. If it gets above the 8112, that is going to be my buy signal, and it is going to be my structure long point. So it's quite easy. For my sell signal, I really don't have much of a sell signal over here, so I'm going to identify my selling point from the radar screen. So just by looking, or from the intraday chart, I'm sorry, just by looking at this, it makes our trade decision quite easy. And if you look at the intraday, you can see how many times it has been trying to go above the structure point. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it kind of fizzled off towards Friday. But on Friday it came all the way back up. You see this move, guys? That, and closing above the range, that is a positive and would indicate continuation to the upside. So now you guys just to be on the safe side, we want to be taking the long above the 8112. So my buying point is 8112. This is where I'm going to go long, and my structure long is still as is the 8112. And if I take it above 8112, I'm going to put a very tight stop. When I say it is the entry is the same as the stop, you just be a little bit reasonable, use about 20 pips, but you don't want to give it too much room. As you can see here, if it gets above it and it sells off like that, you don't want to give it much room. So if you have the market side underneath it, this is where you close it. You can expect a little bit of resistance at the 8112. So if you buy it, you just don't want to give it too much room. You don't give it 40 pips, 50 pips. If it sells off, and it sells off with strength, just get rid of it. Okay? Now for the short side, where will I sell it? This here was, or this could be considered an intraday structure. So if I use that value, that's about the 80.30, but I do have a structure point at the 80.24. So instead of taking a short at 80.30, I will take the short. I mean, you see, I'm leaving all this space. I'm not taking any short. You can try. The guys that have the software might earn. It's not even worth it. Take the short from 80.24 because the dollar seems to be quite strong. So that was the short from last week. It hasn't been triggered. It is also my structure short from last week, and it is our sub. So actually this is a brilliant setup. We have a structure point on the upside, that's going to be our buy signal. We also have a structure point on the downside that we do have as a sell signal. So now in either way it should be an explosive move. For the others of you guys, if you want to take, which I don't recommend, but if you want to be day trading, if you will, if you take a short from the range or something, you're looking at the 80.30 as a profit taking exit. But it's much more safer to trade the long above the 81.12 and to take the short below the 80.24. Okay, the bias for the dollar yen is to the upside. I am looking that my bias is to be a buyer more than I am a seller, and I'm looking for a continuation to the upside, and we'll keep an eye on the index to make sure that we're getting the confirmation of the move. Okay, that is the dollar yen.